And on this video, I'll be reviewing the XTOOL IP616 Advanced Diagnostic Tool. Now this OBD2 scan tool is able to do special functions such as adding keys to a vehicle or programming things that are related to the immobilizer of the vehicle, resetting the parking brake, ABS, and more. It is also able to do live data graphing and diagnostics so we can check what is actually wrong with our vehicle. So first, I'll show you what you get inside of this box, and then I'll walk you through the different features that the IP616 supports. And as always, I'd like to remind you that I have placed a link in the description down below to this tool in case you want to get one for yourself. And the XTOOL IP616 comes in this hard ruggedized case, which is great to protect the tool and its accessories. And then we have these aluminum latches. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And inside, we have an instruction manual, some accessories, and the tool itself. Let's take a closer look at each. And here's the star of the show, the XTOOL IP616. Now this tool has been equipped with a 7-inch high-resolution touchscreen. Now the case of it is plastic, but the outer ends are rubber, which provides some level of ruggedization and also drop protection. Now what's also nice about these large ends is that it allows us to have a nice firm grip on this tool, so we're not going to drop that easily. And on top of the tool, we have a power button, an input for a DC charger, the connection to the main interface that's going to connect to our vehicle, and a full-size USB port. And to power the XTOOL, they have included this AC adapter with replaceable faceplates. 2 of them are for use internationally, and 1 of them is for use in the standard 515 outlet, and that little adapter faceplate gets installed in the front, turn to lock, and is ready to go. We also get the cable that allows us to connect our scan tool to the vehicle with the OBD2 port in its nice bright red color, and a nice heavy duty cable. And we also get a USB cable for recharging the scan tool. And the very first thing we want to do before beginning to use this tool is to update all of its modules. And as you can see, the updates are right here, so you can individually download the ones you need, or my preferred way of doing it, just use the update all option and wait for this thing to be completed. And we'll begin on the left hand side with the special functions. And as you can see, we have quite a bit of them. We have key programming, seat matching, TPMS, BMS resets. We also have the ability to do DPF, SES, which is the steering angle. We have ability to do EPB, electronic parking brake, and more. But let's take a look inside one of them. Once you go inside each one of the items, you can see the coverage for that particular item. And let's go for giggles into the Toyota one. As you can see, we're giving the choices of by type and by vehicle. So we can go by vehicle and select the area that we're at, or we can go straight to type and select the function that we're trying to do. In this case, either access the remote, the immobilizer, or if you're dealing with the smart key systems, we would do with the smart key. But what's also interesting is that a lot of these special functions have built-in documentation in the XTOOL. So as you can see, I'm still in the key special function, and we have a function introduction, which basically tells us what the function does and how to use it. This is very convenient, especially if we have never used a special function in the past before and we want to learn how to do it. The next icon down is report. We have the ability to produce a report for every car that we have tested and then review the report at a later time. We can also send that report by email, informing the owner or informing yourself of what you found with the car, or to print that to PDF and again store that or email it for future purposes. We also have a remote control option, and this can potentially allow a technician remotely connect to this scanner and help us to either troubleshoot or navigate an issue or troubleshoot the actual vehicle. Moving over to the middle of the screen, we have 2 options to diagnose the vehicle: the manual diagnosis or the auto scan option. Now the auto scan option is going to save us a little bit of time. Instead of having to go through all the different brands and different continents, this is going to narrow down which particular vehicle we're working with. And once we have confirmed that the vehicle information is correct, we can do a couple things. We can do an automatic scan, which is an entire health report of the vehicle where the scanner is checking every single system for us and is going to tell us if there is any particular issue with any systems into into a summary report. This is convenient to be able to get a full picture of what we are dealing with. Once the scan is fully complete, we can get the summary report by hitting on the DTC report, and you can see which module is reporting an issue, and then we can troubleshoot from there. We can also choose to clear all the DTCs, basically the error codes, in one shot by clicking that button. Now, you would not want to do that if the issue has not been fixed. Now, if you do not need a full health scan, you can individually visit the modules for the car, which is convenient if you know what module is the one that has the issue. And the XTOOL IP616 also supports looking at live data from the vehicle. Now, we can look at the data in this graphical representation, but we can also graph it. Now, graphing it can be very helpful to understand how the car is behaving. Now, we do also get a different mode where we can switch from a graph mode to a gauge mode, or back to that traditional one. Additionally, we also have a search function on the top if we wanted to look for a particular parameter instead of having to scroll down through this list, which on newer vehicles could be quite long because of the number of sensors that they have. Additionally, we also have a record function that allows us to record the values of this data so we can review that later. Once we're done, we can hit record one more time and the recording has been completed. But we can also manually diagnose a vehicle by going into the specific brand of vehicle that we're working with. And as you can see, they have sorted those out into Europe, America, Asia, China, and Australia. Let's look at the coverage for Europe. I'm going to scroll down so you can see those. Let's look at the coverage for America. Now let's look at Asia. Finally, let's look at China and then Australia. So that gives you an idea of the coverage. We also have this little tab where it says My Vehicles, and here's where we can add our favorite vehicles. If for some reason we wanted a quick shortcut, perhaps the particular brand, we can add those with the My Vehicles. Moving over to the right hand side, we have the Updates option, which we used earlier to update the tool. And we also have the Settings menu where we can change the language of the tool. We can also change the units that the tool uses and complete our workshop information. Now, this information, if we complete that, that is going to populate on the report when we produce that after working on a vehicle. And finally, in this More tab, we have a little shortcut to the internet, and it's going to take us straight to the XTOOL Tech website. Now, you could potentially just browse that website, but you could just go anywhere you want because we have a full browser on here. And this is again convenient when we're troubleshooting a vehicle and we're trying to see if somebody else has figured out the answer already for us. But let's also take a look outside of the tool. I'm going to click Home, and as you can see, we have the access to the internet, which I showed you earlier, and that is because this is an Android tablet. We have a file explorer, and if you are familiar with Android, all of this is going to look very familiar to you. And we have the settings of the tablet where we can customize any of those if desired. And when I'm ready to go back into diagnostics, I can click the little car icon and the software comes back up. We also have a screen recorder, which can be very convenient if you're trying to record the steps on the tool or some kind of information that you saw on here and review that later. And in case you want to use YouTube to watch some videos and find a solution to a vehicle, yes, it definitely can be done. May not be ideal, but if we were in a pinch and we wanted to watch some videos on this tablet, it could potentially be done. And that was the XTOOL IP616 Advanced Scan Tool. Now, who is this scanner for? I'm gonna say that this scanner is gonna be for the beginner and advanced mechanic. It's gonna be for the beginner because it has a lot of tutorials built in on what the different functions do, which is helpful for somebody who has never had an advanced tool like this before in the past, and maybe their only experience is with a basic OBD2 scan tool. I also think that this is gonna be for the advanced mechanic who needs additional functions such as adding keys, but may not need a full bidirectional scanner. But this is getting very close to a bidirectional scanner, and for the price, I think it makes a lot of sense for this to be a nice in-between tool. But I think its biggest strength is gonna be the updates. A lot of these advanced scan tools come with updates, but they're limited to a year or only 2 years. XTOOL says that you get lifetime updates for this tool and lifetime tech support, which is pretty cool and especially helpful to keep the scanner up to date as newer vehicles come out. So remember, I placed a link in the description down below to this tool in case you'd like to get one. And if you guys have any other questions regarding this tool, please put that in the comments down below. If you found any part of this video helpful, hit the thumbs up button to support the channel. And stay tuned as I have a lot more cool car gadgets and OBD2 scan tools coming up for you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.